What's up fellow Yu-Gi-Oh fans, I'm the one and only Glenn Gwyn. Welcome to the channel. Boys and girls, today I'm introducing to you and showcasing you my deck profile for September of 2019 for Mekk-Knight Invoked. Now this deck is absolutely fantastic. Upon playtesting and having a few duels with a couple of friends here and there, this deck is absolutely fantastic and can stand up to the meta. There is a few surprises in the deck, so sit back, relax, and hopefully you'll enjoy the deck profile. We are going to get straight into the deck profile by playing triple Mekk-Knight Purple Nightfall, and basically the Mekk-Knights are, if you didn't know already, are more for column plays. So if there was two cards in the same column, you basically get to special summon this card. Quick effect: you can target one Mekk-Knight monster you control, you banish itself, and if you do, you get to add a Mekk-Knight monster from your deck to your hand. Good thing about this is you always bring Mr. Blue Sky. I always get that song stuck in my head every time I see this card, but whenever this card is normal or special summoned, especially by having cards in the same column again, so you banish your first Purple Nightfall, you bring this card out, and then because of the same column, because it was normal or special summoned, you can add a Mekk-Knight monsters with different names from your deck to the hand equal to the number of your opponent's cards in that card's column. So most of the time it will probably be about 2 to 3 cards here and there, depending if there is an extra monster zone also being used up. So that's a really good card, fantastic. Yeah, you can add more cards from your deck to your hand, especially off the Mekk-Knight monsters. Cards like double Mekk-Knight Indigo Eclipse can be used, especially with the same column again. This quick effect allows you to target one Mekk-Knight monster you control, move that target to another of your main monster zones, so another column. If you say your opponent has a spell and trap set, or you have a spell and trap set, you put this card, you move this card into a different column, and then you can play on from there. Then we play one Mekk-Knight Red Moon. So I really do recommend you also play one Mekk-Knight Yellow Star. I don't actually have it, I cut it from the deck just to make way for other cards in the deck. But if you would like to play Mekk-Knight Yellow Star, I'll leave a picture up on the screen for you right now to show you what it looks like. I do recommend playing Yellow Star because it does help with the synergy of the Mekk-Knight cards. But we're also playing Red Moon. Obviously this card is fantastic because you can banish one Mekk-Knight monster from your graveyard, then target one face-up monster in this card's column and destroy it. Good thing about this card is it's like they're all psychic monsters, so they synergize really well with the new Psyframe Lambda card. So I have put that into my extra deck and I'll showcase that for you very soon. So that is the Mekk-Knight monsters. Now we're going to go into the Invoked engine. So we're playing triple Alistair the Invoker. This card, when normal or flip summoned, you get to add one invocation from your deck to your hand. That's simple. You can play through a lot of your opponent's hand traps also, and it's really good to have in your hand also when you do have an invoked monster, because you can discard this card during either player's turn. Doesn't matter when in the turn because it's just on their turn, and you can gain 1000 attack and defense until the end of the turn. Then we've got our hand traps. We are playing triple Gamma. This card has literally got me out of trouble. I really didn't want playing this at the start, but because it's like any monsters that go off on your opponent's first turn, because we're going second on our deck, we're not even blind going second. This deck is a going second deck. We're always nice to have Gammas in our hand where we can use our quick effect, negate the opponent's monster's effect and destroy them, and obviously that does help by having a driver also, so you can summon that from hand, deck or graveyard. Last but not least, for the hand traps, we are playing double Ghost Ogre, Ash Blossoms in the side deck. I know I'll explain why soon. We're playing double Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit purely because any face-up card that activates its effect on field, we get to destroy it. So that's why I'm running that, and that is all my monsters. Then we're going to go into the spell cards. We are running triple Magical Meltdown. I really like the OG artwork for them from Fusion Enforcers, but I can't afford them, so I've gone for Shadows in Valhalla artwork. Magical Meltdown, basically when this card is activated, you can add an Alistair the Invoker from your deck to your hand. The activation of your cards and effects that include the effect that fusion summons a fusion summon monster cannot be negated, and anything that is fusion summoned, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response. So meaning your opponent cannot use Solemn Judgment, and they can't use Solemn Strike or Solemn Warning on cards that are being fusion summoned. You would actually have to negate this card first when it is brought out. And to complement that, we are playing the one Terraforming. Then we're going to go into our next two cards. We are playing double Invocation. I feel like Invocation at 3 bricks the deck, and I think you can just go into this as much as you want because it is looped and you can recycle it with Alistair, because if this card is in the graveyard and Alistair is banished, which it will be because you're using this to banish for an invoked monster, you get to shuffle Invocation back into the deck and you get to add Alistair the Invoker back to your hand. So it's really, really good and really cool, synergizing. Book of the Law is the MVP of the deck, especially when you're going for an OTK, because you can set this card or you can play it from your hand. It depends on how you're playing it. But you can bring out Invoke Macabre and you can have a bunch of monsters on the field. Sometimes I'll have Blackluster Soldier of Chaos, for example. That will be pointing to 2 Macabres or a Purga Trio or a Kaliga. You go for your attacks, and then during battle phase, after you've attacked, lay down Book of the Law, tribute out one of your monsters, and bring out another one. Kind of works like Heroes in a way when you're playing Mask Change and you're going into Trinity or you're going into Dark Law and to continue your attacks. So Book of the Law is absolutely fantastic in this deck. Then we are playing triple instant fusions, really good to bait out your opponent. Also, it brings out cards like Invoked Raging, or it can bring out cards like Thousand Eyes Restrict if you want to take control of your opponent's monster. So I really do recommend instant fusion in this deck. We are playing Two Pot of Desires. No need to go into this any further. I feel like it's a very good card, and because you're playing a lot of 2s and 3s in the deck, it doesn't matter what you banish and depending on what you are playing, but I really do feel like the card is fantastic in this deck. Then we're playing double Super Polymerizations. I see a lot of deck profiles actually going, especially when you're going second, actually siding this card. I don't think this is a side deck option in this deck because you can go into any of your invoked monsters anyway, and you just basically discard 1 card, send from either side of the field. You can use Alistair the Invoker anyway, and then you can go into any of your fusion monsters. So I really highly recommend that people do play this in your main deck. Give it a try. Like I said, you're going second, you might as well use it. Then we're going to go into double Call by the Grave. Self-explanatory, when you're going off on your combos, you don't want to be stopped by Ash Blossom or Ghost Ogre. Then we are running the Sky Striker package. You do not have to run the Sky Striker package. This is just what I am running. You don't have to run it at all. This can brick at times, so be very careful, and hopefully your deck is shuffled to an optimum efficiency where you don't actually draw into all 5 pieces or 6 pieces that I'm running in the deck, or 7 actually. We'll see how many we're actually playing. There was quite a few Sky Striker cards in this deck. If you do not have Sky Striker cards and you cannot afford them for whatever reason, then I do highly recommend playing the Shadow package, which consists of Trick Clown, Shadow Beast, Shadow Dragon, Shekanaga from the extra deck, Shadow Fusion, and Shadow Construct. So if you don't have any of these cards, then use the cards that I've listed. I'll probably put them up on screen anyway. I do highly recommend that you run 3 Sky Striker Mobilize Engage. A lot of decks do run it. I actually have bricked with this card, so that's why I'm only running 2. I really do like my 2-2-2 ratios, as you guys and girls know on the channel. We are playing with a 1 Eagle Booster, the 1 Widow Anchor, 1 Hornet Drones, and the 1 Afterburner. Now if you would like to switch out the Eagle Booster for a Shark Cannon, by all means go for it, but this is just what I'm running in my deck, and as I always say in all my deck profiles, please use this deck as a guideline for how you would like to play, regardless if it's right or wrong. I have had a lot of fun playing this deck. I've won quite a few times with this deck, and I'm probably not going to stop playing it just because you tell me that the cards are wrong. Then we're going to go into our trap cards. We're playing double Infinite Impermanence, and to round off the trap cards we are playing the One World Legacy Secret. Now the good thing about this, this card is situational, you don't actually have to play it. If you've got Invoke Macabre on your field and your opponent activates a trap card, it's really nice to actually activate Invoke Macabre by just getting rid of this card. You don't actually have to play it, but it's just something, you know, that you could throw in just for Macabre to stop trap cards. Then we're going to go into our extra deck. So we're going to lay down the Sky Striker token because this is for Sky Striker Ace Kagari. So basically, you build, you make your Sky Striker Ace token using the Hornet Drones, and then you use the token to go into Kagari. Really good play, and you can add a Sky Striker card or spell in your graveyard, add it back to your hand. Fantastic card if you need to go into it. It does start off with Q combo plays also. We're playing 1 Salamangreat Almirage because Alistair the Invoker can be normal summoned, and it has 1000 attack or less, so very good card also. Then we are playing 1 Mekk-Knight of the Morning Star. If this card is link summoned, you can discard 1 Mekk-Knight monster, and then you can add 1 World Legacy or Mekk-Knight card from your deck to your hand. And this is a really good card because sometimes it can't be destroyed by battle, and you take no battle damage anyway, because most of the time this is going to be in a different column to anything that your opponent's playing. So when you attack them, even if you can't get over it, or they're attacking you, they're not destroying this card, so that's so good about this card. Then we're playing the one Cyframe Lord Lambda. We are running Psychic Monsters in the deck, so which is why I suggested that you run Cyframe Lord Lambda. Plus you can actually activate Cyframe Gamma wherever you would like. Then we are running the one Alistair Invoker of Madness. You can add Book of the Law off this, Invocation off this, depending on what you are using. My OTK condition, most of the time I go into this card more than anything because you are special summoning quite a lot of the Mekk-Knights and you're bringing out a few monsters, so you can go into Soldier of Chaos at any time. You are using a level 7 or higher monster for its Link Summon also, so it will be unaffected by card effects and your opponent will not be able to get over this card. Especially when you're destroying your opponent's monsters, you get to gain effects off of it. And then situational plays and any problematic boards, I play the one Borreload and the one Borrelsword to round off our Link monsters. Then we're going to go into our fusion summons. So Thousand Eyes Restrict for our instant fusion targets, and then we're also running the Invoked Raging for our instant fusion target. Good thing about these two cards is they still gain their effects. Yeah, you do destroy them during the end phase, but we don't actually use them for that because we can just link them away and just go into anything we want. So that's why I'm running them. And then we've got all the Invoked package, so it doesn't matter what your opponent's playing. If you have Alistair the Invoker and you've got Super Poly or you've got Invocation, you can banish or use their monsters depending on the type that they are. Water monsters, you're sorted. Dark monsters, Kaliga always comes out more than anything. One Purga Trio comes out, and then we are playing the two Invoked Macabres because this card is absolutely fantastic and one of the main cards and one of the win conditions that you use in this deck. And I just feel like Macabre is just broken. So this deck is absolutely fantastic. I could not complain about this deck whatsoever. This is what I've been playing a lot lately, and I just have a lot of fun playing it, like I said. But going into the side deck can be anything you want, but this is just what I'm playing in the current format right now. Double Dino Wrestler Pancratops. I've actually decided to side the Ash Blossoms if I'm not... Basically, if my opponent's not activating card effects that are on the field, I can actually just side out the Ghost Ogres or something and put the Ash Blossoms in. Then we are running two Twin Twisters, triple Red Reboot to stop the trap cards, triple Evenly Matched, and last but not least I'll be playing triple Solemn Judgment because why not? You put them back at Unlimited Khan Army. That is a big mistake that you've done that, and it doesn't really matter how many life points we're paying. But then obviously if it's going in, like if this is going into game 3, then I always side these out because obviously when it gets to game 3 you don't want to lose your life points. But that is my deck profile, boys and girls. I hope you enjoyed it and found it somewhat informative. Please leave a like. Please hit that subscribe button for more epic Yu-Gi-Oh content, and I'll see you boys and girls in the next Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile or another live stream if you would like to join me in the future. Please turn on your notifications and I'll see you all soon. Have a lovely day everyone. Glenguin is signing out.